In 1919, he hit 29 home runs and was sold to the New York Yankees.
A three-run home run for Buffington. The Yankees now lead it by a score of 3-2.
Bill Lee is now going over to a couple of the Yankees, and there they go again.
One hits it to deep left. That might send the Yankees to the World Series.
Varitek and A-Rod going at it. Roberts is going. Posada's throw. Roberts safe.
And what can I say? Just tip my hat and call the Yankees my daddies.
Welcome to Fanbase, a deep dive into the greatest rivalry in sports. Brian Shackman, John Senecal here, episode 231. We're going to focus a little bit on the World Baseball Classic, just because there's a lot of, well, I'm not going to give my editorial opinion at the top. I'm going to let John go first on that, and then I'll let you know what I think. We're recording, just before the elimination games begin, and the U.S. found a way to get in, which we'll get into. First of all, John, your general thoughts on the WBC?
Great baseball. I mean, if this is any sign of what you're going to watch in the 2026 MLB season, get ready. I mean, I know there's some of these players won't be in the MLB, but it's been nothing but spectacular. I mean, the plays, the dramatics. I mean, first ever walk-off home run, first ever 3-run homer game. I mean, there's so many firsts and then just so many great plays between the Bobby Witts and then the outfield plays right from the jump from Great Britain on. I mean, it's just amazing baseball. It really is, Brian.
There's not a whole lot to be said that hasn't been said on Team USA. Clearly, the manager misspoke or didn't see things correctly. I have to tell you, and I talked about this a little bit on our morning show on WTIC News Talk 1080. I don't feel the same patriotism in the WBC that I do in the Olympics and some other things. So it's a little bit different. And what I would say is, it's not like I was rooting against the U.S., but between the pitchers not hanging on and some other things, I kind of rooting for a team like Italy, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, because if you think about it, and it's obvious, there's teams that are all in and there's teams that are in, right? And you can say what you want about all the stars being on the USA team, but they're not all in because Skubal, their bona fide ace, other than Skeens on the team, is not pitching again. And that is going to come back and hurt them. So they're not all in, but all these other teams are, right? I mean, you got guys out there leaving it on the field. Kyle Teal's already been hurt for Italy. So we talked about this before, Brian. We're nervous about guys not staying around for the U.S. and what their chances are. And obviously we've seen there's some huge dents in the U.S. armor. And it's going to be a huge battle for them.
Yeah, it's going to be, yeah. And you take a country like it, I didn't know. I don't pay attention to the Kansas City Royals. I didn't realize Pasquantino was top 5 RBI guy last year in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, and he's got the awesome nickname, the Pasquatch, right? And it's funny, if you watch their games, a guy actually suits up in a Sasquatch outfit when he hits a home run and runs across the concourse in the outfield. And he's on every video. So it's a great story. And listen, he's an entertainer too. He kind of reminds a little bit of Nick Castellanos, how he acts a little bit, because he came right out and said in the postgame, "You're welcome, USA." He's teammates with Bobby Witt, so they're good friends. But they did the U.S. a solid. We know that U.S. has a huge, huge task ahead of them. And let's get back real quick about the U.S. and DeRosa. I mean, if you watched him manage in 2023, there was mistakes, right? He didn't use Bobby Witt efficiently. We could talk all you want about that. But going into this, obviously he made the so-called you misunderstood me or I misremembered or whatever, statement. But handling the pitching staff the way he did off the get-go was not smart, right? Why would you start Logan Webb in game 1, and why wouldn't you save Skubal for game 4 and go with Skeens in game 3? It just doesn't make sense to me. And the whole coddling of the pitching and all that, it's great to have a player like Skubal on the team, but if you're not going to be all in, just move to the next guy that's going to be all in, because there are other options out there. Maybe Garrett Crochet would have been all in, Brian. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it was embarrassing. And just give me quick some predictions here.
Well, we're not going to get our dream matchup of the DR and the U.S. in the finals, right? Because they can't meet in the finals. Korea plays the Dominican Republic on Friday. Venezuela plays Japan on Saturday. Puerto Rico plays Italy on Saturday, and the U.S. and Canada face off on Friday too. I would hope that the U.S. can beat Canada and would wind up facing the DR to go to the finals. And as it sits right now, I just don't see them overcoming the hype, right? The hype around the DR, just the energy and the lineup. Now the pitching isn't that great, considering what the U.S. has, but like we said, who's going to be there in the U.S. to pitch, right? I would see Japan against the Dominican Republic in the finals. That being said, Italy's on a heater, right? Italy is on an absolute heater, but I just don't see Japan going down.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see Italy in the finals. I don't.
Oh yeah, me too.
See it either, but I just think it'd be fun. I wonder about, these games in the different countries have a different vibe. Bringing the games to the States, I don't know who's going to be. My experience with like global soccer, like a country like the Dominican will come in full force for a game wherever it is. I don't know about Japan. I don't know about, Italy, whether they'll have enough to make the experience in the stadium as dramatic as it's been in some of these games in the earlier rounds. So I think the crowd is it'd be kind of interesting to view how it goes. Like, I don't know what Japan's going to bring. I have no idea. I don't even know what the U.S. crowd's going to be like. Is it going to be like the Olympics? Is there going to be that kind of fervor? I just don't know. And I think that actually is a bit of an X factor.
Yeah, I am very concerned about the crowds. There's no way that you're going to, if you're Italy and you're in your Korea and Japan, you're going to get the hype, right? It's just not going to happen. Mexico and the DR and the U.S., that's where the hype was going to be here. And Mexico's out. The Dominican Republic is just next level. They really are. It's just, it's like a circus event. It's like you're going to a baseball game and you're at a concert and a club atmosphere, everything at the same time. Yeah. I for the baseball purist, Brian, it's an interesting take on the game. But it sure makes for dramatics and it sure makes for excitement. And this WBC has been off the charts for ratings too. It's been great.
Yeah. Oh, it has. I didn't know what the ratings were. They've been good.
Yeah, then close to the 3 million mark too for viewership. But how viewership is nowadays. It's almost impossible to rate it with all the different platforms and crap. And people don't even know what it's supposed to be on now and who's tying into what and what service. So that's a whole other conversation.
A couple quick storylines. We don't have a ton of time today that I wanted to touch on. First and foremost, the Czechia pitcher who's an electrician.
Can you pronounce his name?
No, I'm not even going to try.
It's like Andrzej Satoria.
Well, that's not bad.
Guess. That's not bad. 29 years old. Unbelievable performance.
40. He looks like he's 40.
Yeah. He looks like he's been like working in the coal mines is what he looks like. But he's an electrical controller for a company on the border of Poland. He's obviously from Czechoslovakia, but he works on the border of Poland. And the interesting thing about him is he's been a pitcher for the Czech Republic for a long time.
It's Czechia now. Czechoslovakia.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not up on the Balkans and all the disenchantment. The disenchantment. Yeah. Is NATO still a thing?
Talk about his baseball career.
So he has a long career in baseball, and he pitched in 2023 and actually struck out Ohtani. That was his claim to fame, pitching against them in 2023. But he also pitched against Japan this year and threw 4 2/3 scoreless innings against Japan with 3 Ks. And this is the end of his professional baseball career because he's got a kid now and he wants to spend time with his family, he says.
It's just cool. And the ovation he got was really cool. And I usually don't like on-field, the Steadicam stuff because I think it's invasive, but I thought it was really cool to be up close in such high definition to get. And he was great because he stopped, he paused, and he sort of took it all in. And I just thought the appreciation for the moment, it's a blip on the radar of the American sports consciousness, but for him, it was like a capping moment, right? To pitch that kind of performance with 4 scoreless innings, 4+, and then to get that kind of ovation, I just thought, well, that's something he's not in Major League Baseball he'd never get. And so I just thought it was very, very cool. He's John Senecal. I'm Brian Shackman. This is episode 231 of Fanbase, a deep dive into the greatest rivalry in sports. I don't know if you want to get into Randy Arozarena and his teammate in Seattle, or if you want to talk about Lucas Ramirez. I mean, where do you want to go?
Well, I think we should talk more about these people that nobody's really kind of heard of. I mean, we know know the name, right? You know the last name because it's Manny being Manny's kid, right? It's right. Lucas Ramirez, who became famous, we'll say, because if you Google him, he underneath his name it says Manny Ramirez's kid. So he became famous now because he hit 2 home runs. He's on Team Brazil and he hit 2 home runs against the United States, a leadoff home run against Logan Webb. But he is not a touted prospect. He was drafted in 2024 in the 17th round by the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. And if you know anything about baseball, the rounds aren't like the Piazza rounds back in the day where you had 57 rounds or whatever. I think it's like 20 rounds now. So he's a late pick, not a huge prospect, but a lot of people are going to be paying attention to him now, Brian. It's a former Red Sox kid.
Do you think he projects? Like, do you think, because he had another son, I think is a little older, who didn't do anything. I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, he had a total of 3 home runs in rookie ball this year. He hasn't played higher than rookie ball, but he did bat like 282. So, and he is Manny's kid, right? So there's some prodigy there. So I wouldn't bet against him. The talk is they're going to try to move him quickly, but he's young, right? He's just turned 20 years old in January, so there's still time with him. So there is more to be seen. But let's talk about another even younger player, Brian, that we got to see. And this is the kind of stuff that the World Baseball Classic is awesome because you would never see this. Even in spring training, I don't think you would ever see something like this. A 17-year-old kid who left high school and got permission to leave high school to come and pitch in the WBC and actually excelled, Brian, almost touching 100 miles an hour, throwing 98. His name is Joseph Contreras. And if you remember that name, Brian, remember that name, right? Contreras, who is it?
Well, there's Jose?
Yeah. Jose's kid, former Yankee, former White Sox, former big Cuban defectee player. Remember when that was the big thing, the Cuban defectees? So he's got prodigy too, Brian, but this dude is a bona fide scout, right? He's 17, and we saw him pitch against the U.S. for Brazil. But if you watched, like, this dude could throw, right? He's throwing like 98 with like 16 inches of run lateral on his fastball. He got sawed off Aaron Judge with the bases loaded into a ground out. What was his line here? Let's see. He 1 run and 1 1/3 innings. But the big news is he's a 17-year-old.
That's crazy.
He's projected to go in the late first round, early second round in the 2026 MLB draft. But what better way to rise your stock than that?
Any final comments on the Arozarena rally stuff?
Well, I mean, there's always got to be something, right? Someone's always got to be digging for controversy. The controversy was that Randy Arozarena came up and wanted to shake Cal Raleigh's hand at home plate, and they're both teammates, right? And everyone says it's sportsmanship. My opinion on the whole thing is the whole shaking and all that is just overrated, right? Like, why can't you just play? Like, it's like, why can't you, if you're going to shake afterwards or shake somewhere else? Like, shaking is just evolved. Like, I don't even know if you can shake anymore. It's a shake, hug, and all this other chest bumping and back slapping. Like, you're playing a sport. You're playing a competitive sport that you just hype the crap out of, right? The media, everybody, this is for our country. This is the whole, blah, blah. And now you're going to be like, oh, well, why doesn't he just sit there and be friends with them and play? I don't get it. I just don't get it, Brian. Maybe call me a purist or whatever it is, but why can't you just play the game?
There's all these, I mean, it speaks to a larger story, like all these stupid macho unwritten rules that just didn't exist 30, 40 years ago. And I mean, maybe they don't like each other. Maybe it was a dick move by Raleigh. I don't know, but I don't care because they're not
It happened earlier in the WBC between other teams, and everyone said it was just a pine tar thing. But now, of course, it's their teammates. It's a big deal. Yeah. But I agree with you.
I don't think we need whatever. The thing that does bother me, and I don't know how to reconcile it. You score a goal in hockey, you can go bananas, right? You score a touchdown within reason, you can celebrate. Like, celebrating something big is in other sports is fine. But celebrations in baseball have gotten more and bigger and longer. And as a purist, like, I don't understand why throwing your bat 30 feet in the air is such a cool, hip, young thing to do. Like, I think that they don't have to go old school, put their head down and sprint around the bases like Pete Rose. And I don't mind them looking in their dugout and giving some sort of big flex, but put it all together with the bat in the air and the pause and the flex and then the dugout and then the scream. It's just like, freaking who cares?
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I'm blessed to watch Aaron Judge hit 50 home runs a year and get around the bases in 16 to 19 seconds, right? And just point up and do his thing as he goes around first base. But the whole dancing bears and
we're old. Like, that's an old guy.
yeah,
thing.
but it's not just being old, Brian. It's doing what's right. I mean, come on. What, like you said, what are we doing here? Like, if some of these guys are hitting a home run just in the regular season, you're down by 10 and you hit a solo shot, and next thing you know, you're doing spins around second base and shooting free throws coming in. And but yes, there is time for the dramatic, but I mean, come on, like, seriously. In the beginning, like, Junior Caminero, he hits a ball and he tosses the bat up and it basically almost goes up to the upper deck, and it lands in some kid's popcorn or something. It's insane, the level of excitement and celebration that never ends too, right, Brian? They stand at home plate for 5-10 seconds. They do 3 or 7 spins down first base, cross their chest, pat their chest, do 2 jumps at second. They look to the right field bleachers. They look to the left field bleachers. They jump going to third to short to third. They take a handoff, or they high five, or they shoot a boost, or they make a putt in mini golf going around third with the guy. And then they do 3 cartwheels coming into home and jump, and they wait for, who knows, a receiving line at a wedding. It never knows. A group photo, Adam at home plate. You just never know. And then the celebration starts with everybody going into the dugout. And then once you get into the dugout, then the people either that are in the dugout celebrate with you, and then everybody comes back in from the field that was high-fiving you as you walked into the dugout, and you look for the cameras, and then you pose there. Yeah. So, I mean, if you have not caught that celebration and memorized that in time at some point, then somebody's really not doing their job on the digital end.
I do like the shots of espresso though in the Italian dugout.
Yeah, but that's cool, right? Like, that's something different. They got around home plate, and it was like that. You waited for that. That was the thing. It wasn't 47 things leading up to that thing that you're waiting for, and it wasn't like a pattern. It's always different. It's always something different. Well, I don't get it. It's not me, Brian. It's not me.
We need some good grumpy John Senecal. We'll see how.
What we need is the U.S. baseball to wake up. Yeah. And someone's going to have to step up, dude, to pitch, because they are going to be thin like glass, man, coming into that home stretch if they make it to the end.
Scuba will just hop on a plane. I don't know. I feel like there's something that might.
They need Joe Ryan or something to come back, or maybe, I don't know what his status is, but he's still available. But I don't know. Scuba, how many times is he going to Indian give on us? Yeah,
no, I get it, but I feel like something may move on the pitching side. I don't even know. I mean, again, like it's not. I don't feel the same way I felt about the Olympics with this. So, in some ways, I don't want to say I don't care, but I mean, I don't have a problem if another country wins this thing, to be quite honest with you. All right, that's it for us today. He's John Senecal. I'm Brian Shackman. You've been listening to Fanbase, a deep dive into the greatest rivalry in sports.